Hi, I'm Christine. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I'm here with all of my July reading plans and the new releases for the month. All right, I'm so excited to do this July video today, which I already cannot believe that we're already halfway through with 2025. Time truly flies, but in today's video I'm here to talk about all of my reading plans for the month as well as the new releases on my TBR as well. So I'm so excited to get into it. Of course, as always, I'm going to start off with book club reads. So I'm a co-host for a couple book clubs as well as some readathon, read-along plans as well. And then I'll get into new releases and everything after. So of course, all of those books are going to be listed below in the description of the video. So if you miss any, want to go back and see the ones I was talking about, they're all going to be linked below with the title and the author's names. So let's get into it. All right, so first up, I am a co-host for Historical Hellions, which is a historical romance book club where we read historical romances published before the year 2000, so more like old school historical romances. And our July pick is Falcon on the Wind by Shelley Thacker. This is the original, the gorgeous cover. This book has actually been republished with a new title, so let me grab the name for you. So she did actually retitle this one, and it's on Kindle Unlimited with the ebook. So the new cover and the title is His Stolen Bride, so I'll put up the cover here for you so you can see, both by Shelley Thacker. When you search Falcon on the Wind, I think this one comes up as well. Like, they're the same book, just new cover, new title. So I do love that it's on Kindle Unlimited though. So we are excited to read this one. I think it's a medieval romance going by the cover. So this one says, betrayed by a treacherous French ally, dashing Sir Connor boldly sees the highborn Lady Lauren from the steps of Notre Dame on her wedding day. What? The reluctant betrothed of his deceitful enemy, she was a flawless gem, a priceless treasure to be bartered for the freedom of Connor's beloved Scotland. Okay, this sounds very exciting already. So kind of a captor-captive situation. This sounds actually really, really good. So I am very excited. Kidnapped on her wedding day, like, stop it. So this one sounds really good. Definitely let me know if you're going to be joining us in July for this book read. We are excited. This is actually our second Shelley Thacker book, so I'm excited to check out another one from her. This one sounds super good. We will post our live show date and all of that info of the time and the place on our Instagram. So if you follow us on Historical Hellions, our Instagram page, it's linked below for you as well. That is where our live show date will be, usually towards the end of the month, but we will have all the info for you soon. So yeah, I can't wait to read this one. Let me know if you're going to join us. All right, and then I'm so excited for this next one. So I run a historical fiction book club with Tori from Novel Life. So that's called Leave It to the Pros Book Club. And we decided to do another round of a historical fiction readathon and also coincide with our group monthly pick anyways. So our monthly pick for July is going to be A Promise to Arlette by Serena Burdick. This is a newer release. I think it just came out at the beginning of June, and we're both very excited to get to it. I believe this one takes place in the 1950s, and it has flashbacks to World War II, I believe. So very excited. The cover is stunning. It's a newer release and a new to me author, so I'm excited to try this one out. So this is going to be our July monthly pick if you join us for our book club. So this is going to be our group pick for the readathon as well. So if you want to join us, and then you'll also have read our book club pick for the month. We're so excited to do the historical fiction readathon. Again, this is our second round of doing it. We did one last fall, so very excited for another round. We love reading historical fiction. So we're going to have a ton of prompts and our TBRs and all of those things coming up soon. Definitely follow us on our Leave It to the Pros Book Club Instagram. I'll link it below for you so you can see all the info and the dates and the times. Also shared up here, so it's going to be July 14th through the 20th, so a week long to read historical fiction books. If you read one, if you read a ton, whatever you want to read that week is going to be so much fun. We'll also be having some reading sprints and live shows on both of our channels throughout the week, so definitely join us. And then at the end of the week, we'll have a wrap up of the whole readathon as well as talking about our monthly pick. So if you just join for that, that's totally fine too. So we're so excited. All the info, like I said, is on the Instagram below. I'm also going to be closer to that date having my historical fiction TBR video come out as well, and I can't wait. So definitely let me know if you're going to be joining us for that. Tori and I are so excited to do another historical fiction readathon. All right, and then I am a co-host for Lisa Kleypas Ravenel's read along with a bunch of booktube friends. So we are on book 2 in July. So this is Marrying Winterbourne by Lisa Kleypas. This whole series is a reread for me, and I just am having so much fun being able to reread these books that I love so much and then getting to talk about them with friends during the live shows as well as seeing people who are reading the series for the first time. It's been the best. So like I mentioned, this is our July pick, Marrying Winterbourne. Here's the gorgeous cover and then this beautiful step back moment as well. Love this book to pieces. It was a 5-star book for me originally. early, and I'm sure it's going to be 5 stars again because I love it so much. Our live show date for this one is going to be on July 13th on Rachel's channel for Rachel Reads and Sings, so definitely join us for this. We're so excited to continue on with the Ravenels. All right, and then I do participate in Jess from Peace Love Books, her Patreon read-along for Nora Roberts. She's been doing that for the past year and a half, just picks a different book to read every month. I don't make the live shows very often, but I do read the books that they end up reading every month, just so it helps me get through Nora Roberts' backlist as well and tells me exactly which book to read every month. So for July, it is Night Work by Nora Roberts. Very excited. This is, of course, romantic suspense that Nora Roberts does so well, and I'm excited because I think this is one of her newer-ish releases. I think it came out in 2022, it's saying, so I'm excited to check this one out. I feel like this book with this type of cover, other similar books with this type of cover vibe that she's done in the past few years have worked for me. So here's hoping this one works as well. So yeah, I'm going to be reading that one this month too. All right, so with all of those priority reads out of the way, those are the ones that I'm absolutely for sure reading this month. Then I'm going to get to the new releases for July, and there are a ton that I'm very excited for. So let's jump into it. Starting on July 1st is Overruled by Lana Ferguson. This is a coworker, I think like Hate to Love vibe. I believe they're both lawyers, and I have really enjoyed Lana Ferguson's books in the past. She always writes different tropes, and I just have a fun time with hers, so I'm gonna check this one out on July 1st. Also on July 1st is a new historical romance from Vivian Lorette, so this is This Much Is True. This author has worked for me in the past, but some of hers, they're like very hit and miss. So I like some of her older historicals. This like newer series from her hasn't really worked, but it is out on July 1st. On July 3rd, we have Protected by Claire Kent. This is a new kind of like prequel to her Kindled post-apocalyptic romance series, which I love to pieces. I actually read an arc of this one and loved it so much. So this exists in her Kindled Last Light, that kind of like post-apocalyptic world she's created, but it exists a few years before books that we've seen in that series. So it has some like light connections to the world, to the series, and it's going to be like a bridge book in between her Kindled series and a new series, which is The Wilds that she's doing. So this is like a prequel beginning to that series. So I love this one. It's out on July 3rd. She writes post-apocalyptic dystopian romances where you usually have like some gruff, maybe cold heroes, and you get to see a lot of like very protective, broodiness, of course, survival because of that post-apocalyptic setting. I love her books so much. They've worked for me for years. I love this one. It's out July 3rd. On July 8th, we have a handful of new releases. So first up is Rose and Chains by Julie Soto. This one's been getting a ton of hype. Julie Soto in the past has not worked for me. I've read her 2 contemporary romances, didn't love them, so I don't think I'll get to this one, and I've heard kind of mixed reviews about early reviews for this one anyways, but this is one where it was a fanfic originally, and they reworked it, took out all the stuff that made it a fanfic, changed the title, changed the cover, are like traditionally publishing it. So anyways, this one's out on July 8th. Also on July 8th is The Irresistible Urge to Fall for Your Enemy by Bridget Knightley. I get that title wrong all the time, so I have to like actually read it. This is out on July 8th. I'm very intrigued by this one. I think it is romantasy, and I think it's enemies to lovers, but the like bright pink on the cover is just like very interesting to me, so I do want to check this one out. Then we have Terror at the Gates by Scarlett St. Clair on July 8th. This is, I think, a new series from her. I think it's like The Blood of Lilith or something is the name of the series. Could be wrong there. I have read a handful of Scarlett St. Clair books in the past. Sometimes they work for me, sometimes they don't, but I am intrigued by this one, and I think the cover is stunning, so that's out July 8th. We also have Crazy Love by Willow Astor coming out on July 10th. This is the next book in her Single Dad Playbook series. I think this is book 5 or 6 now at this point. She pumps these books out so fast, but they're really fun and usually hit on the tropes, and especially like a single dad kind of romance, sports setting. They've been a fun time. I think the first book's still my favorite, but I always have a good enough time with the books, so I'm excited to check this one out. I actually have an audio ALC of it, so I'll be starting it sooner than later. On July 11th is a new one from Anne Einerson. So this is Wrangled Love. This is going to be a cowboy western, small town romance from her. Very excited. I love Anne Einerson's books, so I can't wait for this one, and I also just love cowboy small town romances, so I can't wait. On July 15th is The Enchanted Greenhouse by Sarah Beth Durst. This is a follow-up to The Spell Shop that came out last year, I want to say. I actually really enjoyed that one. It's very like cozy, cutesy fantasy, very like low angst, low stakes, zero world building, just like very low, cozy fantasy vibes. I had fun with it though and thought the characters were really cute in that one, so I am excited to check this one out as well. I don't know much about it, but I do know I have an audio ALC of it, so I need to start it soon, and her covers are always just the prettiest. Also on July 15th is The Odds of Getting Even by Amanda Sellett. This one says it's a witty rom-com. A resort guest turns into a case of mistaken identities in the rugged wilds of South Dakota. So Don't know much about this author or this book, but I saw it was a new release, so put it on my list. It's out July 15th. Then we have A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping by Sangu Mandani, also coming out on July 15th. I'm very excited for this one. I read the first book and that I think exists in this world, which was The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches. Read that earlier this year and had a lot of fun with it, so I'm excited to check out another one of these kind of like cozy, paranormal-y type of settings. And then on July 16th, so excited for this one. This is Eclipse Empire by Tessa Hale, the second book in her Wolves of Crescent Creek series, which is a Why Choose, Wolf Shifters, Fated Mates type of romance. Very excited. I loved book one. It was one of my 5-star reads for the year, and I just love Tessa Hale's writing. I read all of her books. Her Why Choose really work for me, and I love Wolf Shifters, so I'm excited. On July 17th, we have Axe Marks the Spot by Kayla Grouse. This one does not have a cover yet, so I'll put up the like placeholder she has for it, but I'm excited for this one. I enjoy this author's books. I feel like they always work for me. They're spicy, but they're also emotional, and she always writes plus-size characters, which I love, so that's out on July 17th. On July 18th, we have Forgotten Dreams by Natasha Madison. I think this is the fifth and final book in her Dream series, which I've really loved. They're angsty contemporary romances with a lot of like emotional depth to the stories, to the characters. It's my favorite series I've read from this author, so I'm excited for this one. I have an ALC of it and I can't wait to get to it. Then on July 22nd is Chasing Shelter by Catherine Cowles. So excited for this book. This is book 5 in her Sparrow Falls series, which is a small town romantic suspense, and I cannot wait. I've loved this whole series. I love everything that Catherine writes, and I cannot wait for this new book to come out in July. On July 22nd as well, we have Love is a War Song by Donna Canava. This one I believe is small town, and I know it's Western cowboy vibes, and the author writes Indigenous characters, and I'm very excited for this one from her. I think the cover is stunning. On July 25th is The Sun and Her Burn by Gianna Darling. So this is the second book in her, is it the Impossible Love trilogy or something like that? So this is the second book in this series, and it's MMF, and the original heroine who was in the first book is actually not the heroine who's going to be in this book. So there was a heroine swap up switch situation, which I think is super interesting. So not gonna lie, very interested by that. But anyways, this is book 2 in that trilogy. Then on July 29th is Road Trip with a Rogue by Kate Bateman. I read an arc of this one and loved it. It was so much fun. This is a road trip historical romance where this is book 3 in a series where the heroines in the series are all like private investigators. They own a firm together. And so the heroine in this one is on a case to follow this young heiress who is trying to go to Gretna Green to get married. And so her parents kind of put the heroine and her team on the case. And so she's following them to try to stop the wedding. The hero ends up coming along. He's a duke. He's a friend of her brother. And they've had some like almost moments in the past. So there's some tension between them. And he's traveling with her to track down the couple because he has his own reasonings for following them. And it goes from there. I had fun with this one. Also on July 29th is Give Me a Reason by JC Lee. The cover for this is absolutely stunning. I've never read this author, but I'm very intrigued. This one says that it is a persuasion retelling. So we get second chance, angsty vibes. And in here, I believe one of the characters is a K-drama actor or something. I'm very intrigued by that. And then a couple more for July 29th. So we have Wrath of the Dragons by Olivia Rose Darling. This is a follow-up to Fear the Flames, so a romantasy with dragons. That's out July 29th. We also have Bad Luck Bride by Laura Lee Gerke out on July 29th, a historical romance. I've enjoyed this author's books in the past, so I might check that one out as well. Then the last one for July 29th is Over the Moon by Laura Pavlov. This is book 3 in her current Small Town Rosewood River series. So in this one, I think it's forbidden. We have a small town and a hockey hero, I think. So I'm excited. I really love Laura Pavlov's small town romances, and her cover's always stunning. And then the last one for new releases on my radar for July is Mountain Daddy by S.J. Tilley, coming out on July 31st. I read the first book in the series a couple months ago and it was a lot of fun, and so I'm excited to check this one out from S.J. Tilley as well. I feel like these books from her work for me. Like her kind of Alliance series didn't work for me, but I've had fun with these other series she does. So I'm excited to check that one out on July 31st. All right, so those are all of the new releases and the books that are priorities for me to get to this month. Like I mentioned, I'll be sharing my historical fiction readathon plans and TBR coming up soon as well. So definitely keep a lookout for that, and let me know if you're going to be joining any of these read-alongs, readathons, the book club picks that I have. If you're picking up any of these new releases in July, I would love to know as well. If there were any that are coming out in July that I didn't mention that you're excited for, drop those in the comments too. Like I said, all the books that I talked about today are in the description of the video, so if you need to go and grab any, pre-order any, put any like audiobook holds in, definitely go do that. If you'd rather leave me an emoji in today's comments, leave me a mountain for Mountain Daddy by S.J. Tilley coming out. So do that, leave me a mountain in the comments. And if you haven't done so yet, make sure to like and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my future videos, and I'll see you in my next one. Bye!